Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranberry Fields Flower Farm and Lucy Lehman coming up the back. And today I wanted to show you just a couple more ways that you can dry cut your peonies using some different materials. So I made a whole video showing you how we dry cut our peonies here on Cranberry Fields Flower Farm to preserve them for weeks and weeks and weeks so we can use them at a later date. And I did that in this video, but I wanted to show you some other materials that you can use that you have at home that might be a little more handy. So if we haven't met yet, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kelly Lehman. I'm the owner of Cranberry Fields Flower Farm here in Cranberry, New Jersey, and I love giving you guys fun, free flower tips. So please feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that bell notification so you know whenever I post another fun, free flower tip video. So let's dive right in. So this is called the dry cut method. A lot of flower farmers use this, and this prolongs them for like 4 or 5 weeks. I'm going to show you a quick recap of the video that I did showing you how we actually do the dry cut method from the field. But if you saw that on the last video, then you could just jump ahead about 2 minutes to how we're using the new materials to wrap them. So this is what we do here at the flower farm. We come out and we take a look at some of the blooms that are in what I call the marshmallow stage. So those are the blooms that are kind of super squishy to the touch. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to give it like a very gentle squeeze, and as I'm squeezing it, I could tell it's pretty soft. So this is a perfect marshmallow stage bloom. I wanted to show you, this is my favorite marshmallow stage to cut at when I'm doing this dry cut method, because basically it's not quite blown open just yet, but it's still squishy, but most of the petals still haven't quite emerged a lot just yet. So if you can even cut them at this stage where it's still slightly squishy, this is like the best dry cut method stage to cut it at. So if you were to come into one of these blooms and it looks more like this is a little bit too tight. So this is kind of more like that marble stage. And when I go to come in here and squeeze it, it's very hard. So this is not a good stage to do this method with, because this bloom, if you were to cut it right now, it's probably not going to open up at all because it's not quite mature enough. And if you have a bloom that's fully blown open, it's kind of past its stage for this little trick. So the marshmallow stage is best. And what I'm going to do is just come in here and give it a little bit of a clip. I always make sure that I leave a few sets of my peony leaves in place, because this plant needs to feed itself so that it will come back next year. So never cut a peony bloom all the way at the base of the plant, because you're going to wind up cutting off its like food source, because it needs to use the green leaves for photosynthesis. I'm going to wind up giving it a cut right about here. And this way I know I have at least 2 or 3 sets of leaves left on the plant, probably even more than that. And I'm going to strip off the leaves. And guys, this is really important. You're going to make sure that you don't plunge this stem into water right now. So this is called the dry cut method, and this stem is going to stay completely dry during this process until we're ready to have it bloom a few weeks from now. And it's also important that you do your cutting early morning. So you want to make sure that you don't go out there and cut these peonies in the heat of the day when they're exhausted and they might be dehydrated. We put these beautiful blooms on a piece of craft paper. We fold it over the top, we fold it over the bottom, and then we put them in the refrigerator, and then, we store them there for a few weeks. Now, you can also do it this way, where you can leave the top open. So this is just craft paper. You can also use newspaper, and you basically just wrap it like this. Kind of grab a fistful of it from the bottom, and you twist it, twist it, twist it. Twist it, twist it. Now I've got a little bit of water over here. I'm going to get rid of that because I don't want to have any kind of water on the paper or on my flowers. And I'm kind of covering the bottom. And that's it. I could just lay them in my refrigerator just like this. I usually put like the date on it. So I'm going to put a date on it so I know when I put these in the refrigerator. You want to see this bouquet too? Okay. Okay, so that's another way to do the dry cut method. Now, sometimes you don't have craft paper available. You can just use some tissue paper. And the tissue paper method that we like to use sometimes goes like this. You're going to lay out your peonies on some tissue paper, and you're going to very gently fold it over. You can fold the next one over. You can fold the next one over. And the next one, and one more. And then I just kind of fold up the bottom. Put a little piece of tape on that. And that's it. So now these are all set to store on my refrigerator also, and that's just using some simple tissue paper. And then you're going to do the same thing, guys. When you're ready to use them, you're going to undo them. You're going to take that peony, you're going to give it that cut an inch or two above the bottom, and you're going to plunge it into some clean water, and depending on how warm your house is, it's going to start to blow open pretty soon. The last way that I'm going to show you how to do the dry cut method is to use some of these plastic bags. Now, I know a lot of the stores don't have them anymore, but I've got a whole bunch of mine that I kind of saved that I use them for, like, you know, garbage liners. So I've got a ton of these laying around right now. Another way to recycle them is to take those flowers in that same dry cut that we did before, and you can wrap the tops of them just very, very loosely. Have a lot of space here, and then you could just wrap the bottom, and then you could just put like a little piece of tape around it. Then you just store them in the refrigerator for a few weeks. I use the following method to get the peonies to open up after a few weeks, and it doesn't matter which way you wrap them, the technique is still the same. When you're ready to take them out and have them bloom, you're just going to take them out of the fridge. You're going to unwrap it, and you're going to give it a fresh cut on the bottom. I usually come up about an inch or two on that stem. I'll give it a diagonal cut because now you're going to have maximum water absorption when you do a diagonal cut. And I'm going to place it in some fresh water. And I already have some fresh greens in here because I'm going to build up my arrangement while I'm kind of placing these in the fresh water. So they go right in the fresh water, and within about a day or two, they're going to start opening up, and they're going to start to look more like this stage first. This guy here is probably what it's going to look like in a couple hours, or depending on how warm it is, because the warmer it is, the faster they're going to blow open. And then eventually, maybe in about 2 days, it'll start looking like this, and then you're going to have a full-blown open peony in just a couple days. So those are a few methods that you can use to dry cut your peony flowers and make them have an extended life from your garden. So thank you so much for joining me in this video, and please feel free to hop on over to my Cranberry Fields Instagram page and say hi, and please also say hi to us over on my Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook group, because there's thousands of gardeners from all over the world, and they're asking and answering loads of questions over there from their gardens. Please also check out my new gardening podcast. I have all these in descriptions below, and please let me know where you're viewing this from in this great big beautiful world. I love to see how our flower tribe is growing around the globe each week, and I will see you in the next video.